Is ready? All right. Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Williamson County Board of Commissioners meeting. It's June 28, 2024. It's 9:11 a.m. Roll call, please.
Jim Riser.
Present.
Jim Marlowe.
Present.
Tim Anderson.
President. Let's start off with old business first. The Boys and Girls Club is Southern Illinois. You guys had an opportunity to think through this. The ask was for $25,000 from former Congressman Bouchard. Is there a desire to have a conversation about this? Are you ready for a solution?
I made brought up a point at the last meeting, we were discussing this, that we don't necessarily have to fund the full $25,000 ask. We can use to, once you brought up that it does, the money that we have here, of course, discussing whether our use to be able to fund down.
I got a report from Ashley where other jurisdictions have used ARPA funds for this. I think there's probably a way we can make it work into this. Just really your call, guys.
Jim, you have any thought on this?
I do. I've struggled with this. It's something that I do believe needs support. I also believe it's a community entity, not a county entity. I think everyone will agree that in Williamson County, the benefit from this is going to be in Marion. And when we start to think about taking care of all of the needs in the county and any form of equity on that, it's, if we give 10,000 to this, how do we find 10,000 for Carterville and Johnson City and Heron and Pittsburgh? And so I struggle with that. I'm not a no, but I need some convincing that this has value for the whole county.
I can agree with that. I did get,
I think I could agree with that as well.
I got a letter and a message from Congressman Bouchard about the money to be guaranteed to stay inside Williamson County. I don't think that it's, like you said, it's going to be fully used across the county. It's very simple.
If this was the request to spread, which our understanding from the presentation is that they hope to spread this to other communities, I would carry the banner on that one. But for this one, again, I need to be convinced.
Same on what the money should be used for. Actually, ARPA was the only way that I thought that any money could be used for, not for general fund. I don't know. I take a little more time, or you just say
I'd kind of like to not leave them on the hook here. So if the answer from this board is no, then it's so. Okay, I'll reach out to.
Originally, I thought that it worked out fine, but second, just.
Okay, that is a no for now, a possibility later, or a no from now, or you leave it open where he can come back.
Sure.
Because I'm sure he's going to ask the question.
Sure.
Okay. All right, moving on down. Is there any other old business? Is there anything else? Okay, moving on down. The state's attorney's request. Now, about a week or so ago, state's attorney Hanson reached out to me and informed me that he had a person working in his law office, and it was a person I believe he was doing like an internship, pro bono work. And he requested that he wants to keep this person through, I think through August, so that he'll be going back to school in August. And I'd like to pay him $17 an hour, not to exceed 1,000 hours. And I don't think he'll work even close to that. He's requested $15,000. And so what's your thoughts on the request? And then I have an option that I'd like to discuss after that. Is this something you guys want to fund?
Well, during budgeting, we did set money aside for new hires. However, we're halfway through the year. So I don't know, 15,000 reflects a full year. Suggestion.
What do you think, Chair? Are you interested in?
I think so. I think the fact that there was money put in the new hires line, and that money's not been completely used up. We're also talking about, what, 2 months of salary here?
It can't, I don't see how it can raise to that level of 15,000.
So, yeah, in that sense, yes, I'm okay with this.
So my suggestion then is that we approve the $17 an hour that he's requested, that we hold those funds in our new hire account. And then as this person works through his hours, Ted can send us over a claim and we can pay that out of the account. We do that, and then all those funds continue to stay over here. We don't do the slush fund or anything else.
Sorry.
Okay.
And I hate the word slush fund in this instance because this really, I don't think this would be what that is. But I just do not put more money into their offices than they actually have to.
And this way Ted gets his.
He gets his law clerk. I think maybe a little of this might go back a week or two. So the first one could be from like 1 or 2 weeks salary. So, all right, is there a motion to approve what I just said?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Jim Riser,
Yay.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Tim Atkinson.
Yeah. Thank you. Moving on down, about the same time I got that request from Ted, request from the sheriff for the Axon body cameras. And this is something that I believe he was mandated to have this year. And I don't know why we're just not getting this quote in this request, but we have gotten this request. I sent this out to you guys. Did you have an opportunity to take a look and make sure if you have any questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah, I do have one concern. You did bring it up. The letter that we received was dated June 7th. I don't quite understand why the request came June 7th this year. Cameron should be in place on January 1 this year. So the statement that he had made in the letter as well, I've got the letter on my desk. We did include the final, I think is a false statement. We did include the final. For the capital improvement, once again, cost control, for us to have the invoices sent to us, and the maintenance agreements as well. So I just have some questions. So why would they letter and why it makes a false statement?
I know that this is a multi-year, this is going to be a multi-year expense for the county. It's $202,850.91. That will be from 2024 until 2028, so it's 5 years. So the total ask is going to end up being $1,014,254.51 to provide these cameras.
I do have a question for the state's attorney here.
Okay.
Is he required to get bids on various items or pieces of equipment, being that with us, I think we have a $30,000 threshold.
So, yes, I think it falls under the technology exception as far as an RFP goes. But general practice for the county is that more than one company is solicited to make sure that the pricing is within its range.
And I don't see any other bid here. I would make a recommendation the sheriff gets another bid as well.
Jim, you have no?
That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do, period. We just,
Okay, so we kick this back to him, that's how we do it.
we have to.
Okay. I'll kick this back to him and ask him to provide us with another bid. And I will say this too, when the bid comes in, the question I asked the sheriff about, and I didn't get I thought I was going to get an answer in the materials that he sent to me, and maybe it's in there, but are these, they're not going to be owned by the county, but is this a capital improvement fund? Something that we have itemized as assets and capital improvements fund, or do we do something else with this?
I do believe it'd be on capital improvements. So
It is a lease.
Right. Yeah. Ashley, if it's a lease, do we comply with the fixed asset policy on that? Or if it's not, is it not ours to do a fixed asset?
Yeah, I mean, all of our car, well, for example, all the trucks for EMA and those are leased, but those are all.
Fixed assets.
So then, yes.
So the singles will be the same thing. So Sarah would have tags on each one, just.
So
So he'll have to comply with the fixed asset policy.
once it's ordered.
I mean, you can verify that with the auditor. Make sure that wasn't, you do have to. GASB. You have to list your leases as well. So,
Anything else on Axon Quick's bid? All right, moving down the agenda. Next on the business is the resignation of Justin Mays, the circuit clerk. This has been playing out in the press pretty much. I got a letter dated from him, resignation letter dated from him on May 15th, 2024. It's in the packet. Is there any comments, concerns, questions on this? I make a motion that we accept the circuit clerk's resignation letter dated May 15th, 2024. Effective date will be July 1st, 2024. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Jim Razor.
Jay,
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Tim Max.
Yeah. Brad, in this situation, because I haven't gotten an answer yet on the effective date, will that be 12:01 a.m. or will that be at the end of the day on July 1st?
My assumption is that is Sunday is his last day.
Sunday is his last day.
July 1, you will need a circuit clerk.
Okay.
So,
And
Mr.
actually,
Mays sent an email to Marla and I stating that he would be here July 1st. Okay.
he sent that to you. I didn't receive that email.
I had it forwarded to you. I mean, we were trying to find out, at least that we talked to us each other.
Well, we're gonna go by-
July 1 was
His resignation date is July 1, so as soon as July 1 hits, he is done.
So
that is-
12:01 a.m.
That is Thursday, or that is Sunday night is his last day as circuit clerk.
And that's already been approved.
Now, that's not what he intended. That's not what his letter says. His letter clearly states the effective date of my resignation will be July 1. Doesn't say July 1 at 12 PM, doesn't say July 1 at noon. It says July 1, so at 12:01 AM, July 1, he's done.
Can you send us that letter because I
I
haven't
can,
seen
I can
it?
forward you the email, yeah.
Was that from him or from his?
It was
attorney?
from him. I mean, because elected officials are paid in real time.
So we'll owe him-
We were owing him like 2 days, I mean, half the normal.
So he'll be paid through
That's what, I mean, basically,
June
they through June 30th on their daily.
June 30th.
That's how, again, every resignation letter that I've ever seen, when they have the date effective, it's,
Right.
it's that date. I don't think
That
there's
date.
magic to it.
I believe this board has up to 60 days to appoint his replacement.
The question becomes Monday. Who's
I've had a conversation with Steve Green. And he has a solution. I'm gonna
okay?
verify that with him today. Okay.
Yep.
Next on the new business is the ISIT situation. Jim, I think you wanted to have a conversation about that.
Yeah, this is something that's been kind of hanging out there for a while. I was put in contact with Chuck St. Cloud. And back in 22, at that time, I turned, and the question was, it was determined that we owed a certain amount of money. I read, you know, the total was at 36,000. This is an old insurance policy.
So you guys were part of a trust, liability trust, that then you guys got out of that trust and went to a different, there was some tail coverage for some claims that were out there. Their board has assessed those claims and it's basically said, this is your tail coverage costs, for the trust.
Yeah.
My question at the time was, do we not have representation?
If we exited the trust, right, then we have still had right to have representation.
So no, you wouldn't have the right to have representation on the board because it's only comprised of those governmental entities that are currently members through an intergovernmental agreement. Would you have the ability to challenge it to their board? Yes. I just don't know what the basis is because I don't know what made the claims.
Yeah.
So yeah, your membership would end, it would be no different than ICRMT or, any of those to where you guys are participants, you're pseudo owners of it. So then when you are, say, I'm done, I'm out, then you lose the ability to have your representation on that.
So up until that point, we should have representation.
You would have had representation,
And see, that was the whole,
but I wasn't here for that. So.
yeah, and I questioned that. We weren't notified, we didn't get a meeting or anything, and find out letters were sent to circuit clerk at the time, right? I questioned why we didn't send it to the circuit clerk, and not the chairman. Didn't really good answer, so I turned everything over to Brandon. He was the state's attorney at the time. Brandon took it from there, and that's where we left. So.
Well, I looked through that. It looks like we owe $36,500 or $36,300.
So if we owe it and there's no way out of that, I suggest that you just go ahead and get that letter.
I sent that to Ted and also sent it to Rhett. And do we want to try to look through it to see if we actually owe it? I don't know what that's going to look like.
I mean, I'd be more than happy with that if we can get a response. Very quickly, so we can move on. forward with this.
I agree if we owe it, we need to pay it.
Yeah.
But I had a question on this. Was it on an open claim Is the claim that it was on still open? Could we see another charge come up on this?
I think so. So it was a 2009.
It was removing weapon from squad, fatal gunshot.
Yeah. But there is,
Was the claim, it appears to be that claim was 2004. July 26th of 2000.
So get Ted with this book and give us the affirmation, yes, we know it. Even though we didn't have a presentation at the time. So pay it. We had put the request in to leave that,
will that satisfy us?
or would that satisfy?
I think that would be paid out of tort,
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
Yes, I mean, we haven't paid anything out there, I think ever since I've been here. It's
This was put in place a long time ago.
either that or the liability insurance. Account one or two.
Yeah, again, I don't know what your funding structure, what you've got.
Well, we have a tort, we have a tort trust, but we also have.
Right, but you levy for your tort as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think because they are indicating this is a liability coverage, again,
Why don't you have a separate liability insurance?
talk to the others, talk to the other financial wizards around here and see, but commonly, I think that would come out of tort. It's not my legal opinion. But you do your financial opinion on that.
So the question once again, with this, appease what we owe, and then we could bow out of ICIT.
Well, I mean, that's the question that I think needs to be asked of ICIT is this claim now closed? Because under the spreadsheet that was sent, it indicates that the status indicates that it's open. And I don't know if that open is because the county still owes, or if it's open because there are potential ongoing medical. I mean, there's a variety of different reasons that something would be tagged open.
Joe Blyer was one of the first brought this to my attention, just a week or so ago. And if he said, if you try to get a call, maybe he doesn't answer to that. If you want to give him a call. Okay, so we'll just pause on this for just a bit to get the.
I think we've got a couple of questions that need to be answered.
Okay.
if you have additional questions, could you send us to me? Jim, you take?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on down the agenda, we go down to resolutions. Resolution authorizes salary increase for the state's attorney, public defender, and sheriff. And once again, the state's attorney's salary is set by the state. And
I have that resolution.
you have that resolution ready?
We are, yeah, I will read off the amounts. We're attempting to get it printed. The state's attorney's salary will go to $206,715.95. The public defender is required to be at 90% in order to get the reimbursement. That will make the public defender salary $186,044.36. And the sheriff's salary, who is tagged along with the state's attorney, is 80%. And that will make the sheriff's salary of $165,372.76. And those would be effective July 1st of 24.
Could you read the state's attorney's salary again?
Sure. $206,715.95.
Guys, is there a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Jim Razor,
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Tim Eckes.
Moving on down, I do not currently have any committee or board appointments or water board appointments. Is there any public comment? Hearing none, we'll move down to miscellaneous. Under miscellaneous, animal control facility. We have an AIA document from the architect County Control Facility. Jim, you've been handling this, would you like to give some
So
insight on this?
this is the standard agreement between the owner and the architect, so I forwarded this to you.
Yeah.
Is everything look okay, or is there questions?
I still don't like the AI documents, but it is what it is, so.
Don't make anybody like it. And the really important is even worse. All right, guys, you had the opportunity to read through this, and comments, concerns, questions? Okay, is there a motion to approve this? Jim, could you read out the total?
I think
Proposed basic service fees is $161,450. Contract for a new animal control that building we're in dire need of. And you talked to Kevin out there too. I think General Dynamics is really starting to broke there. So at any time they can say, yeah, they don't, so out there. With that being said, the total proposed basic fee for this is $161,450. I make a motion that we approve this contract.
Thank you, Mary.
Associates.
just to clarify, this is loosely called phase one. This is not the
Right, this is not
actual construction of the building, but starting some of the work leading up.
Engineering permitting.
Does this include the drive?
Yes,
Yeah, this is also.
this includes the drive.
Right, okay.
And let's see, just to kind of add to this, on July the 11th at 5:30, Marion Zoning Board is meeting, and Mark, Dylan, and myself will both be there. Sit in and listen, answer all the questions.
I'll second.
Second, so, once again, these funds will be coming from capital improvements. Roll call, please.
Jim, you made the motion for that?
Yes.
Okay, and then you second.
Second.
Jim Razor,
Yay.
Jim Marlowe,
Yeah.
Tim Axe.
Yes. Okay. What did I do with my agenda? Okay. Next on miscellaneous is ARPA. Ashley, you got some ARPA stuff for us?
Yes. First one's for white ash. Just for project administration to Warren Schifrin for $580. Next one is Southern Illinois Coalition for the Homeless, with their homeless outreach services, housing stabilization services, their admin expenses, operational expenses for May 2024, total amount $1,892.44. Apologize, and things I must have had brain freeze. I typed in Warner Schifrin instead of the actual entity, but first one is Lakeside Water District for construction and inspection for Warner Schifrin in the amount of $1,028.26. And then another construction administration for Warner Schifrin, the Village of Freeman Spur, $382.50.
Actually, last time we were here, and the claiming the ARPA funds as lost revenues. I think the question was, could we claim all unpaid monies, even the money that's been allocated as lost revenues? Has there been any decision on that? Have you got
No.
any clarification
I
on
had a ticket that's in there, but I've received no response after I talked to an individual and then they sent it up. to get explanation, because there are several of the projects that have come under budget. I asked if we could take that money back. There's also, it's also unclear in regards to the statement about what I have to send in at the end of July as far as an obligation and an estimate. So those are all questions that are all part of this ticket. I mean, I can call again and give them the ticket number and ask them where it is in the queue and when they anticipate answering. That's about all I can do until I get an answer. But I'm trying to find other avenues, but everybody interprets that differently.
So in order to catch those funds that have been allocated but unspent, to retrieve those funds out of this, that was the reason why I asked the question. And Brett, do you have the advice on those ARPA funds?
Well, I've got an opinion, but I would defer to anybody else with regards to the legality of it. It is my understanding that the county can in fact declare that and then have that available to use. Because it becomes general funding at that point in time, subject to board allocation. So theoretically, you could declare anything that's unspent or is worried that it's not going to be spent in time as lost revenue, and then reallocate through your general process as opposed to through ARPA.
Yeah.
But again, I would defer back to
We're going to have to
the
make
people that have been
decision.
handling the ARPA decisions. I have not been actively involved with Williamson County's ARPA, so I prefer not to dip my toe in it at this point in time. So
All the smaller counties just took all of it
they
at
did,
one time.
correct. And that's the basics actually of
Right, no, I
my
understand.
opinion on it is
Yeah.
that was the easy way.
Yeah.
They only got 4 million, so therefore they took it all as lost and then were able to allocate it that way. You guys are in a little different situation.
Okay, so when is the deadline actually that we have to make that decision?
Well,
It's
it could be July 31st, could be December 31st, depends on how you look at it. Like I said, that's compared to what is an estimate and what is an obligation, so. I mean, we could, I guess, err on the side of caution, whatever hasn't been spent, we could pull it all back out of all of those and declare that as general fund money. Create a new line for that.
Well, we could just put it in an ARPA clearing account or something.
I mean, it's already in there.
It's already
It's
in.
already in. I mean, the money is segregated. It's
Yeah.
just that I don't know if I can go in and change. I think I can go in and when I go in and change amounts, it tells you have to provide a justification of why.
Yeah.
So, but there's not, it doesn't read it. Say, oh, well, this
You
doesn't
can't do
this
this.
doesn't apply. But we just have to be able to make sure that it was explained that, okay, so for instance, City of Marion, you had $300,000 and it hasn't spent a dime. And I pull all $300,000 away from it, put it in this, general funds, lost revenue category. Then keep track of it in a different manner.
Okay,
I'll keep working.
appreciate it.
I got a few days left, so.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have anything else miscellaneous?
I do not.
Okay. Brett, you think we need to go into executive to talk about the properties? I sent you an email earlier this week.
Yeah, I think properties as well as collective bargaining.
Collective bargaining.
Did you have anything to say?
All right, well, I'll open it back up. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add? Okay,
5 ILCS 120C1 and 3.
motion
And
to
7 for property.
Okay, motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Jim Riser,
Yay.
Jim Marlowe,
Yay.
Jim Marcus.
Yeah.
Did you get the resolution?
Yes, I did.
this would be coming out of capital.
All right, we're going to open up the open session. It's Friday, June 28th, 10:56 a.m. Roll call, please.
Jim Riser,
Present.
Jim Marlowe,
Present.
Tim Max.
Present. Before we close this meeting out, we now have the second bid for the Axon quote. For the sheriff's office, we have a competing bid. Gentlemen, you able to go through that second bid? Is there a motion on either one of these bids that we should take?
I'll move to approve the, saying it right, Axon
Axon Enterprises Incorporated.
Enterprise Incorporated, yearly for 5 years, yearly total $202,850.91.
Okay. Just second, Jim?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Now, Brad, do we need to stipulate what is going to come from this?
I think if it's coming from anything other than general, then yes.
Okay, this is going to come from capital improvements. I would ask the sheriff to send over the claim to us and we'll pay it out of our capital improvement. That will not be a transfer into the sheriff's department, those funds, but we'll pay the funds. That sound good to you guys?
Sounds good, because that's what we set it up.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. Roll call, please.
Jim Riser,
Yay.
Marlowe,
Yeah.
Tim Max.
Yay. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate that. Is there anything else for this meeting before we close out? I hear nothing, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Jim Riser,
Yay.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Tim Max.
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.